The city of Hollywood is on fire. If you haven't noticed, the past few years have not been good to the film industry. Now, I don't want to overgeneralize or simplify or sensationalize the issues, but I think it's pretty clear that Hollywood's biggest issues are, for number one, the movies are bad now, and number two, the movies don't make money, because number three, the movies are bad. But that's not what today's video is going to be about. You see, the Writers Guild, the Actors Legion, they all quit. They're done making movies. They're on strike. Now, I have intentionally avoided covering all of this because I feel somewhat unqualified to discuss any aspect of this. But I'm gonna do it anyway. From what I understand, the writers and actors have many concerns in regards to residual fees. I guess they don't make money anymore because the movies and the shows don't get rebroadcast on the television stations. It's all just on this internet stuff. They also have issues with their working conditions. You gotta think, wasn't too long ago that Alec Baldwin just shot somebody. But there is one element to this whole thing, the strike, that does interest me more than the rest. The AI. See, the writers and the actors, they don't want to be replaced by the robots. They fear for not only their jobs, but their lives. And this has caused some debates online. Because if Hollywood is in such a position where it's losing money because the movies are bad and the TV shows are terrible, then why would the king of Hollywood, Bob Iger, want to give them a raise? I mean, think about it. These fancy Hollywood types, these writers writing these movies, making bank off of garbage. These are the same people that wrote She-Hulk. Do we really need these ego-driven actors to be able to pay for more gold swimming pools? And then you got the CGI SFX people over here complaining about the hours they're putting in. Oh, no overtime pay. You work at a computer, pressing buttons. That's not a real job. This is a real job. So the debate I've been seeing online is that if all these horrible, terrible people are terrible at their jobs and we hate them, then why don't we just replace them with machines? If you want to go on strike, be my guest, but don't be too surprised when Rosie the Robot starts spewing out better screenplays than your nepotism-riddled cousin. I mean, what a beautiful world it would be if ChatGPT could give us the next Batman movie. If instead of, say, George Lopez in this stuff, we had a digital version, a completely digital recreation of George Lopez. If those CGI artists want to unionize, good luck. Good luck to you, I say. Because 2 years from now, Bob Iger's going to be able to sit in his dungeon. He's going to be able to render the next 3 Avengers movies on his Chromebook. Look, I've already done the whole AI video, the whole AI art video, so I'm not going to discuss the potential copyright or legal issues. I know this is a divisive topic, and I'm going to still avoid any definitive statements of morality in this technology. If the Hollywood studios wanted to, could they actually just not meet the demands of the unions and just make all the movies with AI? Or even in like 2 or 3 years, if we assume that AI art continues on its current trajectory, and there isn't some class action lawsuit from fan fiction writers for DreamWorks using AI to make the next Shark Tale, does this technology give the studios leverage over the artists? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, it doesn't. Okay, look at this announcement that Disney is conveniently looking into using AI right now. That's just a fear tactic, and it's a fairly transparent one at that. I could see how somebody who doesn't use AI art that frequently could look at what Midjourney is producing and think, wow, those artists are going to be out of a job. But, okay, there's a big difference between what ChatGPT is putting out, what Midjourney is putting out, and what Hollywood is putting out. So first off, let's talk about the writers. I often hear that writing would be the easiest job to replace in Hollywood because many writers are bad. I can look at a lot of shows on Disney Plus and I can say, well, I could certainly do a better job than this because I could. I think just about everybody could. And I know there's a lot of reasons why writing has gotten so bad. Writing rooms and changes to the production and a bunch of stuff that you probably don't care about. But let's just assume that maybe Bobby Iger wants to replace the She-Hulk writers with AI. Now, if you go into ChatGPT 4 right now and say, make me a She-Hulk TV episode, could you actually get a better TV show than She-Hulk? Yes, surprisingly, actually, but that's a bad example. Right now, AI writing is limited. It's simple. It gives you basic plots, generally plays off of every cliche in the book, but it works because it has worked for 99% of all of media. It is unoriginal, derivative, but that's what most things are. Don't expect incredible creativity unless you're giving it creative prompts, and even then, expect the bare minimum, especially in regards to like character development. I would describe the current quality of most AI-generated scripts somewhere between fan fiction and Saturday morning cartoon from the 80s. I'm sure if you really put the time in, really dial in, just every prompt is perfect, you might be able to get an ABC family drama from the early 2000s. But to be honest, with how samey the AI generations are today, it's hard to imagine that any studio could get away with using AI writing right now. And even if they claimed to be doing that, I would just imagine it was some scab doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes. The tech is not there yet, and it won't be there by the time the strike is over. But over time, it will probably get better. But even then, I don't think it's gonna matter that much. Writers are not scared of AI because they think it's better than them, or it will be better than them. That's kind of silly. Even if you were the most talentless hack, wouldn't you just use this better AI to write better scripts and pass them off as your own? AI writing cannot be better than humans because humans will just use the AI if it is. And while the AI can output anything, it's still up to the human to determine quality. And on that front, it's unlikely anything will change, AI or no AI. Even today, if you want to blame somebody for bad Hollywood writing, blame the laughably incompetent studio heads who sign off on all this stuff. The people who build these cinematic universes to appeal to all four quadrants at once, to maximize potential box office returns and sell merchandise. The fear that writers have is not about the quality of these AI, it's about the money. Imagine this. Say somebody like me goes to Hollywood and offers them this script for, let's say, a She-Hulk TV show that I'm writing. That is by all measures better than the current She-Hulk TV show. I assume. I haven't actually seen it. But Disney, Bob Iger, he would be more than happy to hand me a check for $100. And I'd be happy to take it because it only took 3 minutes to make this. And I'm not going to ask for residuals. I'm not going to ask for a cut of the profit. I'm just going to give them my script that I didn't write. And we call it a day. By doing that, I could undercut everybody in Hollywood because I could just keep pumping out more and more scripts that are better than theirs and charge less and less money. Somebody higher up, usually within Disney, is still going to have to go over these scripts and sign off on it. They gotta make sure there's no spelling mistakes, that the formatting's right, that it plays into their cinematic universe, that there's no plagiarism. They have to cut out any unnecessary racial slurs. And the problem is, eventually, as time goes on, I might get really good at writing these She-Hulk TV scripts. Maybe I just know the exact prompts, and people like my take on the character, or my take on the AI's take on the character. And maybe, just maybe, I can ask Disney for a little bit more money. After all, what are they going to do? Find another person to type in these words, these exact words into ChatGPT? I don't think so. So maybe I could ask for some residuals. Maybe I want a little bit more money. See, that we're back to square one. Even if AI could produce everything, a buffet of Emmy award-winning scripts, it's still gonna take somebody with some talent to discern good from bad. And people with those special skills will still want to get paid special prices. If Hollywood doesn't want to pay residuals to 20 different writers for a movie, then just don't hand the script off to 24 people for revisions. That seems pretty simple. This whole thing just seems kind of silly. I don't know, it seems silly to me. Most of the money that goes into movies doesn't go to paying the writers or the special effects people or the directors or the actors, or the money's not going to anybody in particular. Like 2/3 of all of this goes to marketing. If Indiana Jones 5 was written by an AI, if Harrison Ford was portrayed in the movie by an AI, if all the effects were AI driven and it was directed by an AI, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because it still would have lost a lot of money. The actual amount of money the writers make is so insignificant that it's almost not worth talking about. Seemingly. My assumption is the reason that these studios have they're just so against residuals is because their future plans for their products is to just ship them out to every streaming service under the sun. They don't want to have to pay continued residuals every time they make a deal to put The Office on Amazon Prime. And if this strike wasn't happening right now and it was happening in, say, 5 to 10 years, then maybe the studios would have that leverage over the artists. But right now, when Disney says we're doing that, we're going into AI, yeah, it's just a fear tactic because they're stupid.